Long ago, the Galactic Empire ruled across the stars. It stretched over 10,000 planets and millions of systems. No species had ever stood against them. If any did, they were quickly defeated. Peace, for the Empire, came from fear. For centuries, the Empire believed Earth was just another primitive planet. Their old records showed humans as young, emotional, and divided. The Empire never thought Earth would be a threat. In fact, many high-ranking Imperial officers didn't even know where Earth was, but Earth knew them. For the last 100 years, humans had watched the Empire from the shadows. Satellites and probes drifted quietly in far-off systems. Human spies hid in trading stations, listening and learning. Earth had seen what happened to other species who resisted the Empire. Entire planets burned, cities turned to ash, cultures erased. So humans prepared. They didn't send warnings. They didn't ask for peace talks. Instead, they built. In the dark side of the moon, under the oceans, deep beneath Mars, and far beyond Pluto, they built war machines. They trained AI captains and smart weapons. They turned asteroids into missile platforms. They didn't show off. They waited. Then one day, the Empire noticed Earth. Admiral Zorak of the 5th Imperial Armada sat in his throne-like command chair, aboard the warship Vengeance Star. He looked at the holographic image of Earth spinning slowly in front of him. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. It looked peaceful. It looked weak. "Is this the human homeworld?" he asked. "Yes, Admiral," replied his science officer. "Species 1138, known as humans. Their signal traffic suggests level 2 civilization, but their language patterns are strange. Too many jokes, emotions, and sarcasm." Zorak scoffed. "A planet full of clowns. This will be easy." He sent a message to Earth, translated into many human languages. The Empire had used this message before. It was short and clear. "You will surrender your world. You will kneel to the Empire. Resistance means total destruction. You have 7 cycles to respond." The message was broadcast across Earth's internet, television, radios, and even old satellites. People everywhere saw it. Some laughed, some panicked, some thought it was a hoax. But Earth's leaders did not. Deep under Greenland, inside a hidden military base known as Black Core, the United Earth Command met. General Maya Dren stood at the head of a steel table staring at the Empire's message. "They finally noticed us," she said. "We expected this day," replied Commander Hiro Tanaka. "Question is, do we respond?" "Yes," General Dren said. She looked at the camera and recorded Earth's reply. "To the Empire, you've never had war with humans before. We suggest you run." The message was sent only once. No threats. No insults. Just a warning. On the bridge of the Vengeance Star, Admiral Zorak laughed when he saw the human reply. "They warn us? This is comedy!" he shouted. His officers laughed with him. Zorak raised his hand. "Prepare a demonstration fleet, small force, enough to scare them. Send the 7th Spear Squadron. I want their moon orbiting us by next week. 7 capital." Ships and 50 escort cruisers jumped into hyperspace, heading for Earth. But they were not alone. A tiny, almost invisible probe followed them, human-made. It sent alerts back to Earth. As the Imperial fleet neared Mars' orbit, Earth's defenses woke up. On a quiet station orbiting Mars, a single alert flashed red. A voice echoed through the command chamber. "Code Black. Empire ships detected. Mars perimeter breached." Captain Rena Hale, commander of Outpost Helios, stood up and activated the base-wide comm. "All hands to stations. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." 10 seconds later, the orbital stealth ship HSV Wraith 9 uncloaked near Phobos. It had waited there in silence for years. Its captain, an AI named Sovereign, spoke softly. "Targets locked. Clearance requested." Back at Black Core, General Dren gave the answer: "Fire." The Wraith launched a single missile. It didn't glow. It didn't roar. It just moved, fast. One of the Empire's capital ships exploded in silence, its shields bypassed by quantum destabilization. Before the others could react, hidden satellites activated, railguns fired from Mars, drones launched from moons, human warships, invisible to the naked eye, decloaked around the enemy fleet. The battle lasted 6 minutes. By the end, all 7 capital ships and 50 cruisers were gone. Earth didn't lose a single ship. Admiral Zorak stared at the empty screen. No reply came from his demonstration fleet. No survivors, no distress beacons. Impossible, he whispered. They were primitives. His officers looked nervous. No one dared speak. Then, a new message appeared on their screen. From Earth. It played again. We warned you. We asked you to run. Back on Earth, people watched the news in awe. The government finally admitted what had happened, that aliens had found them. That war had begun. But instead of panic, something else filled the people of Earth. Pride. For the first time in history, humans had faced a galactic power, and won. In cities around the world, people gathered, not to hide, not to cry, but to prepare. Soldiers reported for duty. Engineers checked systems. Civilians signed up to help. Humanity had been waiting for this moment, and now the stars would know who they were. They weren't invaders. They didn't want to conquer. But they would fight, and when they fought, they would not lose. In the way. Shadows of Neptune, a massive ship stirred. It was Earth's most powerful warship, hidden for decades. Its name was Void Howl. Its captain, a quiet, older man named Admiral Ray Carter, stood on the command bridge. He looked at the stars ahead and said quietly, "Time to wake up the giants." All around him, ancient machines powered up. Weapons hummed. Lights blinked. Humanity had always fought wars on Earth, but now they were ready to fight one in space. The Empire had come looking for conquest, but they had found something else. They had found Earth, and Earth had warned them. Far beyond Saturn's rings, in the icy black silence of space, pieces of metal floated. Shattered hulls, twisted armor, and burning engines told the story of what had happened. The 7th Spear Squadron of the Galactic Empire wiped out. No survivors. No warning. Just silence. Inside the command chamber of the Imperial capital, Emperor Zorak stood in front of a giant star map. Red lights blinked near the Sol system. The same red lights meant fleet lost. He turned slowly toward Admiral Rylos, leader of the 2nd Dominion Fleet. "I sent 7 capital ships," Zorak said coldly. 7, all gone. "Yes, my Emperor," Rylos said. "It is confirmed. All communication was cut. They were destroyed." "By humans?" Zorak's voice turned into a growl. "These creatures live on a single small planet? Are you telling me that Earth did this?" Rylos looked down. "They did more than destroy us. They warned us before it happened." The Emperor's face darkened. "Prepare a new fleet. A real one. I want full power. I want Earth to burn." On Earth, inside Black Corps Command, General Maya Dren reviewed the incoming data. She looked calm, but her eyes were sharp. The destroyed enemy fleet had been completely analyzed. Human AI systems tracked the Imperial ship movements, scanned their tech, and identified their weaknesses. "We learned a lot," said Commander Hiro Tanaka, standing beside her. "Their shields are slow to adjust. Their communication systems are old. They rely too much on fear." "And they've never fought someone like us," Dren replied. On the screen, a red alert appeared. Long-range sensors detect a large fleet entering outer system. Estimated size, 300-plus ships. Multiple capital-class vessels. Commander Tanaka narrowed his eyes. "They're coming for revenge." Dren nodded. "Then it's time to test Project Sledgehammer." Near Jupiter's orbit, the stars blinked unnaturally. One by one, glowing cracks opened in space as the new Imperial fleet dropped out of hyperspace. Admiral Rylos stood on the bridge of his flagship, Imperator's Wrath. This ship was far larger than anything the humans had seen so far. 3 kilometers, long, covered in heavy armor, armed with siege cannons and fighter bays. Around him flew hundreds of cruisers, support vessels, and war drones. It was one of the largest fleets ever sent against a single world. Rylos spoke confidently. "We will make the humans regret their actions. Begin advance toward Mars." But Earth was ready. On the far side of Europa, a dark object floated silently. It looked like a moon, but it wasn't. It was the HSS Goliath, one of Earth's oldest classified war platforms. Its surface opened like flower petals, revealing rail cannons, missile ports, and drone hangars. Deep within its core, the command. AI, named Nova, activated, new threat detected, target lock confirmed. Deploying first strike. As the Imperial fleet neared Jupiter, the Goliath launched a wave of hyper-drones, small, fast, and silent. They moved like shadows, impossible to detect. One by one, they attached to key ships and exploded from within. Explosions lit the darkness of space like fireworks. Then came the second wave, human warships uncloaking in perfect formation. At the center of the formation was the mighty Void Howl, Earth's pride. Admiral Ray Carter stood on the bridge of the Void Howl. He wore a simple black uniform. No medals, no fancy hat. Just calm eyes that had seen too many wars. "All units," Carter said. "They've brought the full weight of the Empire." His crew waited in silence. "Let's show them why they should have run." The battle began. From Earth's side came 20 high-level destroyers, cloaked stealth ships, drone carriers, and satellite-based lasers. But more than that, they fought with speed, teamwork, and precision. Human ships didn't wait for orders. Their AI systems predicted enemy moves before they happened. The Imperial fleet opened fire with plasma cannons and siege weapons. Bright beams shot across space, but human ships dodged and weaved. Earth's drone swarms moved like schools of fish, dancing between enemy fire and hitting weak spots. The Void Howl charged into the heart of the Imperial formation. With its railgun battery, it split an enemy cruiser in two. Its shield systems recharged faster than anything the Empire had ever seen. Admiral Rylos watched in disbelief as his ships were picked apart. He shouted, "Why aren't their systems jamming? Why can't we lock targets?" His officers panicked. "Human tech is using waveform ghosting. Our tracking systems are useless." "They're not just resisting," Rylos screamed. "They're hunting us." One of his capital ships, the Fang of Koran, exploded in a blinding flash. Then the Void Howl locked onto his own ship. Inside the Void Howl, Admiral Carter gave the final command. "Fire!" The main cannon of the Void Howl charged. It was a massive rail weapon powered by dark matter cores. When it fired, it didn't make a sound, just a streak of light. The shot tore through the Imperator's Wrath, cutting the ship cleanly in half. Admiral Rylos died before he even knew it was coming. Back in the Galactic capital, Emperor Zorak stood frozen. Another screen showed red lights, but this time, nearly all of them were flashing at once. The second, Dominion fleet, destroyed. His hands shook as he sat down on the throne. This isn't war," he whispered. "This is extermination." A message came through. Not hacked, not forced. It was sent openly, from Earth. It played on every Imperial screen. "This was your second chance. We warned you once. You chose war. Now you will see what that means." On Earth, people celebrated. The stars had watched, and now the galaxy knew. Humanity didn't run. Humanity didn't beg. They fought. And when they fought, even empires fell. But Earth knew this was only the beginning. The Empire would send more, maybe even their final armies, maybe even their emperor. That was fine, because Earth had more secrets to show. And more war machines waiting in the void. In a hidden base orbiting Saturn's largest moon, Titan, engineers worked around the clock. There stood something new. Something massive, the Atlas-class war carrier. It wasn't ready yet, but when it was, the galaxy would change forever, because the Empire made one mistake. They thought humans were weak. They forgot what humans became when pushed into a corner. Not monsters, not heroes. Warriors. 2 fleets had been lost. Thousands of ships destroyed. Millions of Imperial soldiers gone without a trace. By humans. No one in the Empire had believed this was possible. Not the Senate, not the admirals, not even Emperor Zorak himself. But now, they had no choice but to believe. The name Earth was spoken in whispers across the galaxy. From mining moons to royal palaces, everyone asked the same question. Who are the humans? Far away from the capital, inside a secret station orbiting a dead star, 12 alien ambassadors met. They came from different races, some with scales, some with fur, others with crystal-like skin. But they all shared a common truth. The Empire had ruled over them for generations. Now, they saw something new. Hope. Humans destroyed an entire Imperial fleet in minutes, said the Branken speaker, tapping his clawed fingers on the table. And they sent a message afterward. Not a threat, just a warning. They are not conquerors, added the soft-voiced Zealand female. They are protectors, and they are angry. The 12 species signed a secret alliance. They would help the humans, not with weapons, but with intelligence, star maps, trade routes, Imperial secrets. It was time to bring the Empire down. On Earth, deep beneath the Himalayas, General Maya Dren stood inside the War Command Chamber. The room buzzed with activity, maps, signals, fleet data. But her eyes were fixed on one screen, the Titan orbital shipyard. There, something massive floated, the Atlas-class war carrier, Titan's Wrath. Bigger than any ship Earth had ever built, it was the size of a small moon. Covered in thick alloy plates, powered by 3 quantum cores, and armed with weapons that didn't even exist in the Empire's database. Its main cannon could vaporize a mountain, its drone bays held thousands of combat units, and its crew, half human, half AI, was the most elite force Earth had trained. Commander Hiro Tanaka walked beside Dren. Testing is complete. She's ready. Dren nodded. Then deploy Titan's Wrath. It's time to strike back. The Empire had sent out its final response. A super fleet of over 20,000 ships moved toward the Sol system, the largest fleet in galactic history. Included siege dreadnoughts, core breakers, sunblades, and even the Emperor's personal command ship, the Celestial Crown. Inside the bridge of the Celestial Crown, Emperor Zorak stood silently, watching the stars. He had no more time for jokes or pride. This is not just a war, he said softly. This is survival. Near Saturn, Earth's fleet waited. Admiral Ray Carter stood at the helm of the Void Howl, joined now by the Titan's Wrath and dozens of advanced warships. They knew they were outnumbered, but they also knew something else. They were ready. The battle began at the edge of the asteroid belt. The Imperial fleet dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation. Their ships covered the sky like a metal storm. Thousands of red lights filled the radar. Admiral Carter gave the order. All ships, hold formation. Wait for the signal. On board Titan's Wrath, the giant ship slowly turned. Its power levels rose. Every cannon rotated into position. Inside, its captain, a young woman named Celine Ward, spoke calmly. Let's show them the wrath of Earth. She pressed the command pad. From Titan's Wrath, the main weapon fired. It was not a missile. It was not a beam. It was a gravitational warhead, a tear in space itself. The weapon didn't explode. It pulled. One of the Empire's largest dreadnoughts twisted violently, then was crushed into a single black speck before vanishing completely. The Imperial fleet opened fire. Millions of plasma bolts, siege rounds, and energy spears flew toward Earth's fleet. But Earth had learned. Smart shields formed in hex patterns, shifting in real time. Earth ships moved like dancers, spinning and weaving between blasts. Drones flooded out in waves, some the size of cars, others as small as insects. Every drone had a target. Every drone hit something. Then, humanity's second trick began. From behind asteroid fields, automated mines activated. From the rings of Saturn, hiding satellites fired railgun blasts. From cloaked ships near the Imperial flank, pulse jammers turned targeting systems blind. The Empire had brought more ships, but Earth had brought more brain. Inside the Celestial Crown, Emperor Zorak watched the battle fall apart. "What is this madness?" he shouted. "Why are our weapons missing? Why are our ships breaking formation?" His command officer answered in panic. "They're using swarm tactics, microjammers, tech we've never seen. They're thinking like us, but faster." Zorak's face turned pale. "We never fought humans before," he whispered. "We should have run." Back near the void howl, Admiral Carter spoke into the fleet-wide comm. "All units, move to Phase 3. Target command ships. End this." A wave of Earth's warships broke from formation and pushed forward. The void howl led the charge, tearing through enemy lines. The Titan's wrath followed slowly, unleashing destruction with every step. One by one, the Empire's top ships were taken down. The Sunblade Glory exploded after 3 precision drone strikes. The Storm Herald fell to a smart missile that entered through an engine vent. The Celestial Crown was now alone. Admiral Carter gave the order. A final formation of 5 Earth warships moved in. The Void, Howl, Titan's Wrath, and 3 destroyers. The Celestial Crown opened fire, releasing every last weapon, but the shots missed. A strange sound echoed through space, a soft, low hum. Then Titan's Wrath's cannon fired again. This time, the gravitational warhead tore a hole through the Celestial Crown's center. The Emperor's ship broke in 2, and for the first time in history, the Empire had no Emperor. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. The unbreakable Empire, broken by Earth. People on hundreds of worlds cheered. Silent slaves broke their chains. Hidden rebels lit fires of freedom. 12 species, once afraid to rise, now lifted their banners. The stars changed that day, and at the heart of it all stood Earth. General Maya Dren sat in Black Corps Command watching the final report. Her voice was quiet. "Is it over?" Commander Tanaka shook his head. "Not yet, but the galaxy knows now. We are not prey." Admiral Carter's voice came through the comms. "Phase 4 complete. Enemy fleet destroyed. Awaiting further instructions." Dren smiled. "Tell them to come home. We'll clean up." The galaxy later. And far in the cold of space, where no one had ever dared travel, another war machine waited. A second Atlas-class war carrier, even bigger than Titan's Wrath. Its name was Earth's Shadow, not activated yet, but ready. Smoke still floated in space where the Imperial fleet had fallen. Wreckage from thousands of ships drifted near Saturn. Some pieces burned, others just froze, quiet and empty. The humans had won again. Earth's flag now flew in the skies above, the battlefield. But the war was not over. Far away in the heart of the galaxy, in the glowing halls of the Imperial Grand Citadel, new voices filled the silence left by Emperor Zorak's death. High lords, battle priests, and war admirals stood, in a circle, their faces grim. One of them, Lord Vandros, slammed his fist on the table. "We are the Empire. We do not fall to one world." "They killed Zorak," another lord said. "They destroyed 3 full fleets. How many more do we lose before we admit defeat?" "Enough," shouted Supreme Commander Relkar. He was now the highest-ranking military leader. His armor was made from the bones of beasts from 10 different worlds. We will strike with everything we have. No more limited fleets. No more small missions. We send them the full force of the Empire, all sectors, all armies, total war. The decision was made. For the first time in 600 years, the Empire activated the World Flame Protocol. Back on Earth, in the command chamber under the Himalayas, alarms rang. General Maya Dren and Commander Hiro Tanaka stared at the holographic map. It was glowing red in nearly every corner. Massive movement across all Imperial systems, Hiro said, scrolling through the data. They've pulled fleets from every region, every ship, every soldier, all heading towards Sol. Maya nodded, slowly. They're coming with everything. She turned to her staff. Send the signal. Activate Project Horizon. In the dark space beyond Neptune, something ancient began to wake. Buried inside a dead asteroid, sealed away for years, was Earth's hidden power, the final part of their defense plan. 3 massive cores lit up. Heavy doors opened like a blooming iron flower, and from the shadows rose Earth's second Atlas-class war carrier, HSS Earth's Shadow. Twice the size of Titan's Wrath, its design was sharper, more advanced. It wasn't built to hold the line. It was built to end wars. Captain Rhea Miles, a former test pilot turned war commander, stepped onto its bridge for the first time. She looked around at the smooth black walls and blue glowing panels. The AI, System, Arcos greeted her. Welcome, Captain. Shall we begin? Rhea took a deep breath. Yes. Bring the shadow to full power. We fight tonight. The Empire moved quickly. Thousands of ships crossed hyperspace lanes. Huge carriers floated beside world destroyers. Soldiers trained in the darkness of space marched into landing pods. Bio-beasts howled in stasis cages. On over 50 worlds, Imperial citizens were ordered to work day and night, building weapons, ships, and armor. The Empire would crush Earth. They wouldn't stop at Earth's fleet. They would destroy the planet, break its moon, burn its cities, make it a lesson to the galaxy. This was no longer a war for control. It was a war of survival. Back on Earth, people prepared, civilians were moved to underground shelters, farmers handed out food to soldiers, scientists rushed to finish their last experiments. Kids held small flags and whispered to each other about the stars. All over the world, humans knew what was coming, and no one ran. In fact, something strange happened. Across the galaxy, alien species who once feared Earth began to speak up. The Zealand sent 20 scout ships to help scan Imperial movements. The Brankan offered rare minerals to upgrade Earth's warships. Even the reptilian Norvax, once loyal to the Empire, defected. Humanity did not enslave us, one Norvax general said. They fought the ones who did. Earth's allies grew, so did their strength. The day came. Imperial ships entered the solar system. The sky was full of metal. The fleet covered space from Mercury to Pluto. Over 40,000 ships, the largest force in galactic history. At the edge of Earth's defenses, the human fleet stood ready. Void Howl, Titan's Wrath, Earth's Shadow. Alongside them, hundreds of smaller ships. Drone clouds floated in perfect shapes. Smart mines were buried in asteroid fields. Railgun satellites spun above every planet, and in the middle of it all, Admiral Ray Carter gave the order. All human units, prepare to defend home. The first wave began at Mars. Imperial cruisers opened fire with plasma and dark-fire weapons. Earth's railguns answered. Explosions filled space. Fighters twisted and turned like insects in a storm. Mars shook from the force, but humans held. The second wave targeted the moon. Empire troops landed on its surface, thinking it was poorly defended. They were wrong. Lunar bases hidden under the dust opened their doors. Ground cannons rose. Human mechs stepped out. Tall machines powered by fusion cores. The Empire was pushed back again. Then came the third wave, the final attack, the Celestial Spear, the Empire's largest battleship ever, moved toward Earth, 5 kilometers long, covered in dark red armor. Its front end glowed with the power of a star. Its cannon could burn half a continent. Captain Rhea Miles watched it from the bridge of Earth's shadow. "Arcos," she said. "Lock main cannon." "Locked!" "Fire." The shadow's core opened, and from its center came a quiet pulse. No fire, no beam, just a ripple. The ripple moved through space and hit the Celestial Spear. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the entire ship broke apart silently, as if it had been erased by time. Inside the Empire's backup flagship, Commander Relkar roared in disbelief. "What is that ship? What weapon can do that?" But there was no answer, because Earth didn't share secrets. They just kept fighting and winning. Back on Earth, General Dren looked at the battle map. Imperial ships were falling, thousands destroyed. The Empire's center command had gone silent. "They threw everything they had," she said softly. "And it wasn't enough," replied Hero. Across the galaxy, people stared at their screens. The message came once again from Earth. It played in every tongue. "We warned you. We didn't want war. You brought it to us. Now you know we will never kneel." In the ruins of the Empire's control worlds, uprisings began. Cities once under the boot of Imperial rule lit fires in the sky. Flags were torn down, statues smashed, and above them flew something new, the symbol of Earth, not as a conqueror, but as a liberator. In orbit around Earth, the human fleet stood in silence. Not one ship fired, not one missile flew. They didn't need to, because the Empire had nothing left, and the galaxy finally understood what that first message meant. Run. The battle for Earth was over. For the first time in the history of the galaxy, the mighty Galactic Empire had been fully defeated. Not in a single fight, not by a trick, but in open war. The stars were quiet now. Imperial ships, once proud and feared, floated broken and silent across space. Some were burning. Others had simply vanished under the powerful weapons of Earth's war fleet. At the edge of Earth's orbit, the void howled, Titan's wrath, and Earth's shadow stood like silent guardians, surrounded by hundreds of victorious ships and thousands of returning drones. Humanity had won. But it wasn't just about victory. It was the beginning of something much bigger. In the underground command center beneath the Himalayas, General Maya Dren looked at the main screen. Reports from every corner of the galaxy poured in. "We're getting calls from rebel groups across Empire space," said Commander Hiro Tanaka. "They're asking for support, weapons, guidance. Some just want to join us." Dren looked thoughtful. "The fall of the Empire has begun, Hiro. But we can't replace it with chaos. We didn't fight to rule. We fought to be left alone." Hiro nodded. "What do we do now?" Dren answered slowly, "Now, we give others what they never gave us, a choice." Far away on the world of Korthar, the Empire's central command planet, the last loyalist leaders gathered in secret. The Emperor was gone. The fleets were destroyed. The citizens were angry and afraid. Supreme Commander Relkar, now the last true voice of the Empire, stood before the other commanders. "We will rebuild," he said, voice firm. "We will rise again. Earth is strong, yes, but they are not gods." "But they destroyed everything we sent," one general argued. "We used all our power. What's left to fight with?" "Not weapons," Relkar said. "Words, fear. We must spread lies. Make the galaxy think Earth will conquer, that they're monsters." "Why?" "Because fear works," Relkar growled. "And if we cannot win with ships, we will try with shadows." But Earth had already thought ahead. In a live broadcast that reached every system, every species, and every world once ruled by the Empire, Admiral Ray Carter stepped in front of the camera. His voice was calm and simple. "People of the galaxy, this is Admiral Carter of Earth. We are not your enemy. We did not come to conquer. We did not come to take. We fought only because we were attacked, again and again. But we are here now, and we will not hide anymore. If your people wish to be free, we will help you. If your people wish to stand on your own, we will support that. We do not want an empire. We want peace. But if anyone tries to bring the old empire back, remember what happened the last time. We warned them, and they didn't run." The message echoed across the stars. On the jungle world of Zechariah, once a mining slave planet, the people raised Earth's flag beside their own. On the icy moons of Urak, ex-Imperial soldiers laid down their weapons and joined local peace guards. On the floating cities of Talcor Prime, citizens gathered and cheered as the last Imperial governor was flown off the planet, without a single shot fired. Humanity had not become rulers. They had become symbols, but not all was peaceful. In the shadows, a group of ex-Imperial warlords tried to regroup. They took ships and ran to the edge of the galaxy. There, in the dark systems, they began to rebuild under a new name, the Iron Shroud. Their message was clear. Humanity is dangerous. They must be stopped before they rule us all. They promised to return stronger, smarter, and deadlier, and they began to build weapons of their own. Back on Earth, inside the command center, General Dren read the report. "Looks like not everyone learned the lesson," she said. Commander Hero leaned over. "Want me to send a fleet?" Dren shook her head. "No, not yet." She pointed to a small, blinking light on the map. "We'll let Ghost Fleet 1 handle it." Deep in uncharted space, far from any known system, a group of human ships floated in complete silence. No lights, no signals, no movement. These were the Ghost Fleets, Earth's secret weapon. Each ship had cloaking tech far more advanced than anything used in the war. They couldn't be seen. They couldn't be tracked, and they didn't fight unless absolutely necessary. But they watched. And when the Iron Shroud began to act, they would strike. Fast, silent, final. A few weeks later, on the edge of the galaxy, a hidden Iron Shroud base suddenly exploded. No warning, no sign of battle, just destruction. A single message was left behind, written on the wreckage in glowing human letters. "We warned you too." Years passed. The Galactic Empire was gone. In its place, the Galactic Union of Free Worlds was born. Each world had a voice. No kings, no emperors, no slaves. And though Earth did not lead it, they stood as guardians, advisors, protectors. The Atlas-class war carriers were placed in orbit, no longer used for war, but kept ready, just in case. Void Howl became a museum ship, open to all species. Titans. Wrath circled Mars, now a training ground for peaceful defense. Earth's shadow stayed hidden, its location known only to a few, not for war, but for warning. In a school on the alien world of Tularis, a young child raised her hand during a lesson. "Teacher, is it true?" she asked, "that humans once fought the whole empire and won?" The teacher, an old Zealand, nodded with a smile. "Yes, child, and they didn't do it to rule us. They did it to save themselves, and in doing so, they saved us all." "Why didn't the Empire just leave them alone?" the teacher sighed. "Because they thought Earth was weak?" "And what happened?" the teacher chuckled gently. "They found out the hard way. On Earth, Admiral Ray Carter stood on a quiet balcony overlooking the stars. He was older now, tired, but proud. He watched the lights above and whispered the words that had started it all. We warned them. He smiled softly, and we never needed to say it again. The end.